The UN Security Council is mulling a new draft resolution on Syria, which Russia is putting forward. It condemns all sides in the ongoing conflict, calling for violence to stop, but there's no mention of sanctions. The Kremlin's UN envoy says the balanced draft should be passed.
From the outset, our assessment of the situation was that various violent groups were taking advantage of peaceful demonstrators in order to pursue their agenda. So those concerns are reflected in the draft resolution, but there is also very strong language in terms of no impunity and support for human rights and the need to stop violence and make sure that the transgressions do not go unnoticed.
Well, Russia has been actively trying to mediate a peaceful solution for months. Syria's vice president will hold talks with officials in Moscow on Friday. There's little let-up in the violence, which most recently saw deserters gun down 24 officers. The Free Syrian Army claims to have more than 25,000 troops fighting to bring down President Assad. But Western nations still refuse to acknowledge that anti-regime protesters are armed. US-based military whistleblower Sibel Edmonds says Washington is siding with the opposition to force regime change.
They have had this division to train the rebels there. They also help the rebels smuggle arms into Syria, but also they have a communication division there in order to actually increase the number of defectors from the current Syrian army. It's not some kind of simultaneously uprising situation where people are rebelling and then suddenly they are mysteriously armed, and mysteriously arms are being smuggled into Syria from Turkey. Well, who's providing these arms? Well, these are US arms shipped to Turkey, and from Turkey it's being smuggled into Syria. We went through this with Iraq. We went through this with Libya, and we went through this with so many wars that we have had since 9/11, and this fits the pattern we have had before. You don't start anything without prep. At least that's not the case with the United States military. You start doing the prep work. Well, this prep work started in May 2011 in case of Syria.